It's now 9 a.m. The date is September the 3rd, 2024. We will call to order the meeting for the City of Statesboro Mayor and Council. We will have our invocation and pledge of allegiance by Council Member John Riggs.
I'd like to ask Marcus Toole if he would give the invocation, please.
Father, we thank you for this day and for all the people who are here. We pray that you would be with City Council and Mayor as they deliberate the city's business, that they would make decisions that are good for the people and pleasing to you. And we ask these things in your name. Amen.
Please stand. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move down to agenda item 3, which is recognition and a public presentation. We do have a presentation of a proclamation recognizing September the 15th through October the 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month, if we will. A proclamation by the Mayor and City Council of Statesboro, Georgia, 2024 Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas on September the 17th, 1967, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into law the National Hispanic Heritage Week Bill, which authorized the President to designate the week of September the 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month, which was first observed in 1968. And whereas in 1988, President Ronald W. Reagan signed into law the creation of the National Hispanic Heritage Month. U.S. Representative Esteban Torres, a proponent of the bill, noted that supporters want the American people to learn of our heritage. We want the public to know that we share a legacy with the rest of the country, a legacy that includes artists, writers, Olympic champions, and leaders in business, government, cinema, and science. And whereas more than 1 million Latino Americans who consider Georgia as their home are essential to our state's vibrant culture and economic success, giving their time and talents to betterment of the quality of lives of their communities, true equity for said communities. And whereas the City of Statesboro honors and celebrates the contributions made by Latino Americans in the history of the United States of America, and as well as the contributions by Latino Americans in the City of Statesboro. And whereas the City of Statesboro is honored to join the federal government, hundreds of U.S. cities, and millions of people across our nation in recognizing September 15, 2024 through October 15, 2024 as Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas the City of Statesboro recognizes the importance of the 15th of September as the Day of Independence for Latin American countries such as Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Also, while Chile and Mexico's independence is being celebrated in the month of September, and now therefore I, Jonathan McCullough, Mayor of the City of Statesboro, do hereby proclaim September the 15th, 2024 through October the 15th as Latinx Heritage Month, and call on the City of Statesboro and its residents to observe this month with ceremonies and activities that celebrate Latino heritage and recognize the impact of Latin American culture and contributions continue to have on our great city. Proclaim this 3rd day of September, 2024. Thank you, guys. All right, and okay.
I think she's
There you go. Hey, how you doing? You doing good?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. That's okay. You know, represent.
Oh, yes.
All right, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Can you
You got
tilt
this.
it down just a little?
Just a little.
Yeah, okay. Can you, look at mine first. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're close at 1, 2, 3.
Don't go away. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Don't go away. Yo, come on.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Y'all good at this.
Okay, come on. Paulette.
Come on, y'all got it.
I do, yes.
Come on, I'll got you the other side.
Look like a bunch of short people back there.
I know it.
Counselor Riggs, you said that's,
Leave it out.
I'll probably let Miss Gwen if you talk. Shrink down a little bit, she's taller than me. She's taller. Yeah.
ready, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. Thank you. Y'all leave us, let us know.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 4 for public comments for the agenda. Any public comments for the agenda?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. We'll move down to consideration of a motion to approve the consent agenda, which include the approval of minutes for our August the 20th work session, council minutes, and executive session. Also, consideration of a motion to approve the surplus and disposition of vehicles and equipment in the public works and engineering department. Is there a motion to approve agenda item 5?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 6. Consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2024-22, a resolution calling for a temporary relocation of Statesboro 1 precinct from Loretta Moore Park to the Statesboro Primitive Baptist Church for the city's special election held on November 5th, 2024 to fill the unexpired term of the vacant District 1 council seat. Mr. Penn, is there anything to add to that?
Mayor, it's just so our folks don't get confused and have to go 2 different places. They can all do it at one location.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penn. Any discussion by council? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, move down to agenda item 7, which is consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2024-23, a resolution to accept the 2023 Fire Prevention and Safety Grant for the city of Statesboro, Georgia, in the amount of $8,095.23, with a 5% match in the amount of $404.77. These funds will be used to purchase an inflatable fire safety house. Mr. Penn.
I really don't have anything else to add. Mayor, there's a match of about $500 and we recommend approval of the grant.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion from council?
I'm just wondering what a fire safety house was.
It's teaching.
There you are.
Yes, ma'am. Say again, I didn't.
What is the fire safety house? It's inflatable, that's
Right.
to be used for teaching opportunities for children.
That's correct. It will offer several educational components within, and portability will allow us to set it up in various places and events.
So it looks like a bouncy house, so kids are interested in the track.
I asked that very question because, again, a bouncy house would not fare well at the fire department with a bunch of firefighters. But it does not have a bouncy floor. It is just the walls with the different components.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion by council? All right, seeing that there's none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we move on to agenda item 8, which is consideration of motion to approve resolution 2024-24, a resolution to adopt the first amendment to the city of Statesboro schedule of rates, fees, and fines for fiscal year 2025. Mr. Penny.
Mayor, members of the council, at the last work session, Kathy Fields, Ms. Fields explained to you that there had been a change in the state law as it relates to building inspection, building permit fees. And so this is to get us back in compliance. And so we made the adjustment of the recommendation for our fees. And so what we ask you today is to approve the fee and the amendment of the fees and charges schedule to reflect that change. So we recommend approval to you today.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council? All right, seeing that there's none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We move down to agenda item 9, which is consideration of a motion to approve the purchase of 25 APX 6000 portable radios, 15 spare batteries, and 5 shoulder microphones for the Statesboro Fire Department in the amount of $156,047.70 from Motorola Solutions utilizing 2019 SPOS funds. Mr. King.
Mayor, this is some equipment that we need to purchase for our fire department, the radios, the batteries, and the shoulder microphones, and we'll be using the 2019 SPOS funds to do that. We recommend the purchase.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council?
High batteries.
Mm-hmm. Seeing that it is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll move down to agenda item 10, which is consideration of a motion to approve the water contract to Hawk Construction in the amount of $203,910 for the construction of a fire training building. This project will be funded out of the 2019 SPOS funds. Mr. King.
It is, as explained, the fire training building. Hawks Construction was the lowest responsible bidder, and we do recommend award the contract.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
We'll go down to agenda item 11, which is consideration of a motion to approve and award a contract in the amount of $70,500 to Single Air Construction LLC for sidewalk repairs in various locations identified through the city. This project, STS-31, will be paid by 2018 T-SPOS funds. Mr. King.
Mayor, members of the council, we have hauls that need repair all over the city, and this is a contract to help us make some repairs, and so we recommend it to you for your approval.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we go down to agenda item 12, consideration of a motion to approve and award a contract for sidewalk installations and culvert improvements to HD Construction in the amount of $1,776,456.50. The 3 CIP projects included in this bid award are ENG-122C that's funded by 2018 T-SPOS and GDOT ILMIC funds, ENG-122K funded by 2018 T-SPOS and Stormwater Operating Funds, and STM-39 funded by Stormwater Operating Funds. Mr. Penny, any further insight on this?
We recommend it to you, Mayor. It's a big there's several projects.
Yeah.
And they're not inexpensive, but this is the lowest responsibility.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Penny. Are there any comments from council?
This is the one where they had to put several together to get folks to bid.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Why is that? Why do you think no one was bidding on the three of them separately, but they did on all three of them together?
Well, one of the projects, if I recall correctly, was bid out individually and it was over budget. And so we went back and grouped 2 more with that one project because the 3 projects from an economy of scale standpoint brought the cost down to try to keep everything closer to budget.
Smart move on that part.
Thank you.
Any further discussion by council? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, move down to agenda item 13, consideration of a motion to approve the purchase of a Falcon Asphalt 4-ton patch truck from Reynolds Warren Equipment Company per the Purchasing Cooperative of America contract PCA-OD-362-22 in the amount of $234,950. This item will be purchased with 2023 T-SPOS funds. Mr. King.
Mayor, members of the council, we have some equipment that we use right now to repair potholes across the city. And what this does is this is one piece of equipment that you can do all of it and you don't have to pull the trailer. And whenever I saw it on the agenda, I talked with staff about it, and I was exposed to this piece of equipment back in the mid-80s, and we called them a pothole patch. And so we're going to now own a pothole patch in Statesboro.
Thank you, Mr. King. All right, any discussion from council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve? All right, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right. We'll go down to agenda item 14, which is a consideration of a motion to approve the purchase of the Aries Mobile Pathfinder UC 3410, including camera, tracker, and controller from Aries Industry Incorporated per the HGAC by contract SC 06-24 in the amount of $126,119. This purchase, SCM-31, will be paid from stormwater utility fees. Mr. Penny.
Mayor and council, this piece of equipment is important to us as we try to maintain our stormwater system. It provides us with the camera. We have a camera for the sewer system, and this will help us with being able to maintain our stormwater system as well. Recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council?
We do already have one, right? It's a little, it's like a flying drone, except it's on tracks. We put it in the, because I watched them do it one time. They were doing it in my neighborhood. I just jumped up in the back of the truck and watched them do it. So it's an over. What do you do?
We'll get a new.
Okay. Just curious.
Any further discussion by council?
No.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor? All right. We'll move down to agenda item 15, which is consideration of a motion to approve a sole source purchase for an updated software platform from CUES Grants Net for the water sewer department to replace the obsolete existing software from Q's Incorporated in the amount of $36,955 to be purchased for operating income. Mr. Penn.
Mayor, I don't know if I can add anything. We do recommend the purchase.
All right, thank you. Any discussion from council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
All right, we move down to agenda item 16. Consideration of a motion to approve an award of contract to Carter Construction and Utilities LLC in the amount of $1,483,774.26 for the installation of sanitary sewer infrastructure in Ramblewood subdivision on Ramble Road to be paid with the American Rescue Plan Act funds approved in the FY 2024 CIP budget, item number WWD-32-C. Mr. Penny, any further discussion?
Mayor, I would just simply like to say that this is exciting. This is the second project that we will have done with the ARPA funds, and we still have the third project. So the importance is getting this approved, and we still have, it won't take till 2026, but this is important so that we don't have to send money back to the federal government come the end of December. And so getting this under contract helps us. And so our plan is to get another contract to you before the end of this year for the over the next Quail Run. No, Quail, it is Quail Run. The Quail Run sewer done so that we can take care of all those funds from the ARPA.
Okay, good.
Recommend it to you.
Thank you, Mr. Penny, that's exciting. Any comments from council? There's none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there any second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move down to agenda item 17, other business, from city council. Is there any other business?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say we're all sad. Many of us are sad that First Fridays are not going to happen through the end of the year. And we do feel that makes it even more important to support our concert on the 12th. We will have another Downtown Live concert. It's another kind of street festival downtown. So look forward to that. Plan on attending and supporting.
Thank you. Anything else from council? All right, seeing that there's no, we'll move down to the city manager comments.
Mayor, members of the council, I just wanted to mention a couple of things to you. Unfortunately, we did not get the CDBG grants for Whitesville project. Let me just say to you, part of the issue is DCA. I don't want to say anything negative about DCA, but and cities are bureaucracies, but state government is like bureaucracy on steroids, and they have what they like. And in our case, we tried to, we had a project that dealt with infrastructure, and we had a project that dealt with housing, and then we had the park in there. The park creates the obstacle. If it just simply been infrastructure, chances are it would have been approved. They did approve several housing rehabilitation projects. And so we're hopeful that, first we have to step back with staff and look at how we utilize the funds that we committed to Whitesville, we had to get it committed before the end of this year. But then we will submit another application, but we will pull that park out and we'll deal with the infrastructure and the housing rehabilitation piece. So I want to share that with you. Then the other thing is that on September the 9th at 6 o'clock in this room, we'll be doing the public information session to talk about, we call it Blue Fern, but I think it's called Burkhalter Village. That's the 700-acre development where we will walk through the rezoning and also talk about the annexation. We've invited, I think we sent letters to, Justin shaking his head, we sent letters to the property owners in that area, informing them of that meeting. So we want to share information with them. Some of the developers may be on via Zoom because they're on the West Coast, but their engineers will be in the room. So we share information. We're not there trying to convert anybody. We want people to have good information, but if they share some information that might help make the project more palatable, it'd be good for the developers and their staff to hear that. And so that will happen at 6 o'clock on that day. Then on September 10th, we will have the millage rate hearing. That one will be at noontime in this room. The other will be at 6 o'clock that afternoon. And then the last one will be on the 20th during your regular city council meeting. We did not have a chance at the last meeting to share anything, and we've given a notice and recommended millage rate increases to 9.125. Couple of things that affect that, and we will have a presentation on the 10th. Two things to note. The new pay plan is $2.3 million. The other thing was during the budget process, when we were putting together the budget, we had $1 million that we had to fund for the fire fund in order to keep it solid. So we're utilizing some fund balance, and I would say to you that if you wanted to do it without a millage rate increase, you might have one shot at that, because otherwise you go below your 25% goal policy. And so we'll go in more detail in the future, but recognizing that it is not a dire situation, but we're going to see growth in our community over the next several years. All these projects that y'all are approving, but that's not going to happen next year. Probably in the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to see all those houses come online, and that will be additional tax base, and that's why it's important to see these developments occur. So that will be on the 10th, and then again on the 20th. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention to you, I have not told staff this, and so it's something that as I was at home before last weekend, there's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation in the community, especially as it relates to our water. And what I would like for our staff to do, and I'm going to ask Steve and Matt to put together an informational session that we will share. We can even do it in a work session there, but and maybe we'll do it in the next work session, and then we'll do a public session. That anytime you talk about having to do something, or even if we have a water break, you start seeing comments out there about Hyundai. That doesn't have anything to do with the water break. And so what we need for people to understand is our water system, and our water system is built on wells, and we have a very strong water system. But we can't take one situation and without having complete understanding of how our systems work, all of a sudden have a negative impact in our community. So I hope y'all are okay with that. But I do think it would be worthwhile for our staff and for the public just to simply understand how our water system works, how our wastewater system works, and we'll be putting that together. After the next work session, then we'll schedule some public meetings so folks can understand and leave the report. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, so we'll move down to agenda item 19, public comments, and we have Marshall Webster.
Morning.
Good morning.
Council members, Mayor McCollar has recently become employed with an organization called New Georgia Project as a, quote, Chief Field Operations Officer. This organization is a left-wing tax-exempt 501c3 founded by Stacey Abrams, now headed by Board Chairman Francis Johnson, who, along with the mayor's wife Adrienne, is a member of the Statesboro Remembrance Coalition, which pushed for the lynching marker in front of City Hall, and which was paid for by another leftist 501c3, Equal Justice Initiative, which takes donations from the same organizations as New Georgia Project. In other words, the mayor is now employed by the man whose agenda he and his wife pushed when they worked to get that marker erected. New Georgia Project is currently under investigation for financial, quote, irregularities, election fraud, and tax fraud. In 2022, the CFO of the organization went to Francis Johnson and told him there were irregularities on the books and a forensic accountant needed to be called in to, quote, right the ship. Johnson fired him. It has subsequently been discovered that, among other things, $500,000 has gone missing from New Georgia Project, and they falsified their last tax return. Further, New Georgia Project is open about its race-based anti-white politics. Its stated purpose is to register black voters, and its de facto purpose is to promote Democrat candidates. Mr. Mayor, when were you going to tell the good people of this city that you were working for this crooked, leftist, racist, blatantly partisan organization? I feel you owe it to the good people of this city to be open with them. Was there a quid pro quo involved in you getting this job? Per the revised tax return of New Georgia Project, the executive salaries there are pretty sweet. Council members, I suggest you look into this matter very carefully because other people already are. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. You know, and I appreciate your time, Mr. Marshall, and your concern about making sure that the citizens of Statesboro are clear. But on August the 3rd, I posted via social media that I was no longer with Georgia Southern, and I had accepted the role with the New Georgia Project. I had over 600 communications via that social media posting. Mr. Marshall, I apologize that you may just be finding this out, but the citizens of this community have known this over a month. If you like, you're welcome to follow me on social media. A lot of folks get a lot of their information from there. And if anybody know anything about me as mayor, I'm pretty transparent. I share a lot of stuff via social media, whether it's with my family, with whatever endeavors we got going on. I share it via social media, including that I'm the only mayor that's done nearly 20 town hall meetings since I've been there, and there's not been a topic of conversation that I've been afraid to address. But I do appreciate you bringing that, your concern for the citizen overall, and I thank you for bringing that to our attention. But again, if anybody has any questions or comments about where I work, just be clear that every job that the mayor has had, it's been an issue. It was an issue for me to work at Georgia Southern. I had individuals calling the hotline, trying to get me fired as I worked there for 7 years. When I went back into the real estate business, it was an issue there. Now this job is an issue. So it's just an issue for the mayor to have a job in the city of Statesboro. And so that's what's concerning to me, is that I'm a man that's trying to save, that's trying to feed my family, take care of my family, just like everybody else. But it seems that whenever the mayor gets a job, it's an issue for certain people in this community. And you know, Mr. Marshall, I appreciate your time, coming up and making sure that everybody in the community knows. But again, you're late. And I've already shared this with over 600 people on social media. And if you want to follow me on social media, you're welcome to do so as well.
Talking about
Your time is up, Mr. Marshall. All right. Any further public comments? All right, seeing that there is none, we'll move down to agenda item 20, which is consideration of a motion to enter into executive session. And for this week is personnel matter, in accordance with OCGA 50-14-3B. Is there a motion to open an executive session?
So,
Is there a second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.